What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage and another Thursday night on the world's #1 tuning live show where you guys show up, ask your questions, we talk about cars, we talk about tuning, we talk about all that stuff. What up, Snow? Okay, so I've got a couple housekeeping things to get out of the way. Hey, fishing. As people start piling in, people are starting to show up here. What up, Cole? Willard, what's going on? First thing, if you somehow manage to find my personal cell phone, don't call me. Please. Like, that's my private life, and you're invading my private life, and all it's going to do is get your number blocked. So, there's plenty of ways to contact me. You can go through the website or you can go through the Patreon, but don't try and call me. Get that out of the way. This has been something that's been happening a lot more recently. Oh my God, Joe Simpson's here. What up, Schmidt? Mad Mall, MK? Moto, good to see you. Second, as of this week, I have parted ways with HB Tuners. So, let me tell you, I'm not going to quit tuning with HB Tuners. Ignore my dog. He's a psycho. I'll still be tuning with HB Tuners, but I've chosen to no longer be sponsored by HB Tuners. I don't have anything bad to say about the guys over there. It's just, no, I'm not getting back on Holly. Joe's in here. If you need Holly stuff, go to Joe Simpson. Like, come on. I think I've proven that I do not like Holly. I'll still be doing stuff, still be tuning on HB Tuners. But we'll look at some other stuff like EFI Live. Finally, because I had a non-compete clause on factory fresh stuff with HB Tuners, and I'll be honest with you, HB Tuners as a company just not really aligning with what we do, and I'm looping you guys in on this also as garage, shade tree mechanics, kind of stuff like that. They're more interested in sponsoring F1 cars and what's his nuts from Street Outlaws, Ryan. What's his name? Ryan? Which I've always kind of given them flack about. They've got an HP, Ryan Martin. They've got an HP tuner sticker on a car that runs a Fuel Tech. So after this, even the last couple months, I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to be tethered to you guys. Like, it's not beneficial to me whatsoever. So that is gone. Okay. Last thing before we jump into tuning, and the thing I'm most excited about, Saturday I'm going to pick up my dream car. And no, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Nope. You're going to have to wait and see. But I'm super excited. Ooh. Okay. So stick around for that. And we'll be tuning it, amongst other things. So, let's get into it. What's everybody been up to? Chad's asking if I know anything about 3800 acceleration enrichment. Man, all GM acceleration enrichment's exactly the same. Are you talking about PE? You talking about transient? Man, yeah, no, trust me. The fact that they have a decal on an F1 car is not lost on me. That's got to be a 6-figure, if not a 7-figure sponsorship. Saline S7, it'd be nice. Playing with the Canny 7 too. Sweet, man. Stick with it. The learning curve on the Cannies, pretty steep, but once you figure it out, man, things start going a lot easier. I really love those modules. And they're probably kind of hard to get right now because of everything that's going on with the war, because the guy that builds them's out of Russia. But they're super cool. You know, those guys, I've talked to those guys. What does a makeup pulse minimum do? I honestly don't know. I'd have to look at the tooltip. I don't know where my editor's at. Makeup pulse. What is this? What is this? Makeup pulse minimum. Schmidt, what platform are you on so I can look it up? Yeah. Steve-O, there was somebody in America that was selling them on eBay, I want to say, but there was also their eBay thing that was, I need to get back with those guys and probably just become a distributor and just order like 100 of them and just resell them for guys. I think 100 would last a long time. E67. Let's see here. Probably got an E67 somewhere. E67. Okay. Now I gotta find this. So much stuff. Makeup mode. So the mode for delivery of extra fuel injection pulses. If this is multi-pulse stuff, this only does it like during cranking or something like that. It's just another minimum injector pulse. So, you know, whenever you're talking fuel injectors, there's a amount of time where it's so short that the thing might as well be considered closed. And so that's what short pulse is. And that's basically it. I know that's not much of an answer, but that's what it is. I got 12 Sierra 1500 with the 5.3 and a 6L80 been working on. Nice. Any tuning tricks that help with the cam car pushing through a converter? You can, I don't know, dial the timing back, make sure that you're not running too much timing when you're idling. But honestly, I mean, this is why it's important that you get a stall converter whenever you do a cam. That's just what happens. Try lowering your idle. That's about all you can do without throwing a new stall in. Gotta get out tuned, but the weather is not complying. Correct. Transient fueling. My AFR shoots rich when you first step on the throttle, then corrects and shoots back lean for a second, then levels out. Look at your fuel impact to wall number, which is generally how it kind of calculates transient, or that's one of the transient calculations. Dial that number down, see if it helps with it. That's what I've found in the past, is like dialing it back a little bit. Don't make huge steps. Take like, I think it's 0.1, 0.2 out of it at most, and then rinse and repeat. See how it goes. Excuse me, it's a burp. New tuning. Just up to the wideband AM300300. How'd you hook it up, Marty? What up, Joseph? I have not tried doing CAN bus with Arduino. Listen, I was about to dive into the Arduino stuff, and then I found the Canny Logic, and I was like, there'd be no reason to use Arduino if you can get your hands on one of these. Seen lean stumble around 2,500 RPMs. Just like cruising at mid-load, just like kind of rolling in through it, and then it stumbles lean around 2,500. That's weird. Are you in dynamic? Chad, I would have to go back and look at 3800 stuff. I don't even think I've got any 3800 tunes that I could review on here. It's such a weird platform. Looking. Nope, I do not. Chad, feel free to email me a copy of your tune and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so in blended mode, try changing your dynamic airflow threshold or switchover point and see if it moves with that. I wonder if something's happening whenever it goes from SD to math weighted. If there's something wrong with the biasing math or something that's causing that. So you did move it and it stayed at whatever RPMs you said it was. That's interesting. 2800. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Shoot me a log of that. I'd have to see it. Get an idea of what it could be. What could be doing that. I don't know. I wouldn't think it'd be fuel pressure at 2800. Especially on a V, figuring, you know. Yeah, it could be something with fuel pressure related. If I don't know. I'll have to dig into that. Chad, the easiest way to reach me is go to the website. And you can hit me up at info@goroadgarage.com. But if you send me an email unsolicited asking tuning stuff, I'm not gonna respond to you. If you want tuning advice, you need to join the Patreon. That's the whole purpose of the Patreon. And that gets you a special secret squirrel email address where you can send in your questions and your stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the supercharger is too super. So Joe's saying to get a less supercharger. Marin, new question. Can you buy used Yes, you can. You can buy used MPVIs. The big thing about it is technically the interface doesn't do anything. It's the credits, and you'll have to buy the credits. Now, you can buy them with credits on there. I'm not sure. There's probably a way of transferring that, because generally what you do is you set up an account on HP Tuner's website and you associate an MPVI. I don't know what happens if you try to associate a serial number that's already been associated. So, but you could probably just email them and tell them, hey, I bought this off a dude, and they would allow you to set it up on there. So, listen, HP Tuner's selling the MPVI is such a small thing. They want to sell you the credits, because you got to realize the credits completely free for them to create, and then they charge $50 a pop for it. So obviously they don't want an interface sitting around not being used. If somebody can buy it used and then they're going to buy credits, they're going to get more money out of them. So more supercharger. Tyler says his had the same stumble, but when he switched it over to math, it goes away. But it shouldn't be an issue regardless. Something's going on. Something's going on. It could be a possible VVE zone boundary transition. Ethan says, we have variable vane turbos, but do we have superchargers with a variable drive ratio? Does a Pro Charger have something like that? Oh, dude. Well, or you could sponsor an F1 car with it. Joe. New to this Gen 353 LM7 idle drops right after it fires up, and it stumbles and level out. So on the early stuff, listen, whenever you fire it up, you've got like a cranking and after start mode. So there's cranking, then there's like 30 seconds of after start, and then you go into normal operation, as it were, which you still have a bunch of fueling corrections based off temperature and stuff like that. But if it's happening within the first 30 seconds or so, you're going to need to look at your cranking fuel under fuel multiplier stage 1 versus time and stage 2 versus time. You may have to adjust those. Hey, WS6, I saw you sneak in. Uh, 850 on boost, too rich or too lean. 850 I would say is the leanest I would run on boost. So depending on how much boost that you're running, I would probably start skewing it towards 0.8. So less distract injected, then you can probably get away with running all kinds of boost on 850. Listen, I ran the Super Auto at 24 PSI at 850. Sure thing, Willard. Hey, De La Soul. Good to see you again, man. Any of you guys tried this cucumber lime Gatorade? Man, it's so good. So crisp and refreshing. Just makes me want to go tuning. .8, one for life. Hey, man, I'm all about just finding a number and sticking with it. Off the IPAs. No, it's Thursday, man. It's a school night. I got work tomorrow. ABT. Yeah, I got work tomorrow, man. I'm tired, too. I've worked more this week. Been so busy. Just busy this week. Dude, Ethan are so good. I'm sure I need more than just B12 in my life, man. Yeah, zero's where it's at. Get that zero. Dear Gatorade, I have a new sponsorship spot opened up. So, jump on board. Let's go. Gatorade. Drink of power tuners everywhere. Miss Go Rope, she finally got home Sunday night. She did not make it home Thursday. She got home Sunday at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Welcome to the club, Joseph. Thank you. There will be some member stuff coming up soon. In fact, if you're a member, you're going to find out what my new car is before anybody else. Ooh. Members and patrons. Oh, dude, air travel is the worst. Listen, I'm not going to get back on air travel. I talked about air travel too much. I got up on my soapbox too many times last week talking about air travel. So, you guys ready for a new Fast and Furious movie? Dude, how did you know, Brad? I've been found out. My dream car is a Prius. I finally took the jump. I got family. Yeah, implant's going good. I've got an appointment next month. They've got one side of my brain dialed where I can't turn it up enough. And it was like, oh, I need to set up an appointment to go in. It just a setting he messed up whenever we were doing the programming portion of it. And we accidentally forgot to set the limits. So I got to dial my timing up to get optimal power. Yeah, exactly. I don't have enough power enrichment. It wouldn't be an issue, but it's the left side of the brain, so it's my right side of my body. And I still have some steady issues on the right side, whereas my left side is just... So, yeah, I went out to the garage the other day and stared at the wife's car for 20 minutes and I could not connect to it wirelessly. It just would not work. I was going to turn the boost up on it. I'm waiting for the USB plug so I can just plug in. Ron wants to know what my favorite turbo size is for the 6-liter Vortec Max. Ron, I'm not the guy to talk to about turbos. Is Joe still in here? Joe could probably tell you what size he likes for a 6-liter. I don't like turbos. That dog. I'm going to strangle that dog. Well, Super Slow. A lot of modern cars being hybrids now. Hey, Marty, welcome to the party. See what I did there? Our engines generally lower power. Yeah. Will performance to become more difficult in the years to come? Yeah. Yeah. Yes to both of those, Ethan. it's the future of tuning is bleak. And it's not just because of hybrids and stuff like that. It's because security is becoming more and more difficult on these factory ECUs, because with all the stuff being integrated and having communications and stuff like that on board, there is a reason for the manufacturers to have more of an eye on what's going on there. So, anyone ever see tiny metal shavings around the shaft on a stock LS rocker? That's an interesting place for it to be. I mean, are they tiny enough that they could be, well, shouldn't be entrained in the metal? That's new. I mean, could it be coming from the rocker itself, Cole? Is the rocker body making contact with something? I would pull that rocker off and look at where it mounts. See if there's anything going on there. Found so many people who try and run leaner. I don't know where the concept came from. The leaner the mixture, the less molecules you have. Temperature affects density. Therefore, you lose. Well, the idea behind run leaner is that stoic is the optimal burn ratio. So, you want to run stoic because you're getting the best burn at that rate. The problem is the cylinder pressures go up. You need to run richer to combat cylinder pressures. If cylinder pressures and cylinder temps were not an issue, you could run stoic all the time and it would be amazing. Now, running leaner than stoic, not going to make a difference. There you go. Joe Simpson said it. Picking a turbo is like picking injectors. I'm going to have a shirt made. Picking a turbo is like picking injectors. And then on the back it says, you got to pick a power level and size accordingly. Thank you for that, Joe. Monty's another Australian. We loved having Australians in here. He's got a 2011 cammed Caprice. When cruising at highway speeds and you jump on the gas to overtake something, as it commands the gear change almost at the same time, it pulls spark and sounds like it runs out of fuel briefly. Then it gathers itself, powers on. Well, it's supposed to pull spark during that because that's the torque management from the transmission saying, hey, dial back the power a little bit, because if I don't dial back the power, I'm going to burn out the clutch packs. Even on the venerable 6L80, 4L80 is probably a little less prone to it. 4L60, real bad about it. So, Marty, have him go underneath the transmission and torque management. Make sure he doesn't turn it all the way off, because you'll just ruin your 4L or your 6L80. Yeah. Fishing 406 has got a good point. Ram and Dodge has really, from the American side, been one of the first ones that's pushed the secure gateway stuff where you can't even access the CAN bus without something or bypassing it. So you can, it's easy to bypass, which isn't a big ordeal, so it's not rocket science, but man, okay, so there's so much stuff in here. I'm trying to keep up here. Well, Ben It's got a good point. It says it's aluminum. Could be a thrust bearing. See if it's magnetic. What did I miss from Mike? Where you at, Mike? I'm working on cam tuning. I can't figure out how retain power enrichment mode with scavenging mode. I have no clue. Hey, Dad. Good to see you, man. I hope you're feeling good, Dad. Turbos are complicated. You got charts and graphs showing curves and efficiency ratios and ugh. Why would you want to go through all that headache whenever you could just throw a nice centrifugal blower on there and know that if it needs more boost, I just change the pulley? Yes, Garrett does have a turbo sizing utility. That might be a good place to start. Oh, Barry's felt tight. It has a turn unit upgrade. Well, I'm just worried that the trunnion where it's on the shaft is somehow rubbing around and lost some metal there, Cole. Done any 10-speed tuning? Man, you know, I'm trying to think if I have. But I don't know if I really have. I think I've got a couple 10-speed cars I'm tuning right now, but they don't have the TCMs unlocked. So, but for the most part, it shouldn't be any different than what you're doing on 6 speeds and stuff like that. Actually sounds like it's about stall Marty. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be that the torque management's too aggressive. And it could also be that the virtual torque on that platform isn't really used on the engine side, but it is used as part of shifting. If they've messed with the virtual torque on that, it could be causing an issue. Zipperator, download the garage layouts. Does not work well with my 09 CTSV. That's interesting. Something with manifold PSI PID. Like the VE graphs? I'll have to look at it. I don't know if I tested on E67, but that's the first I've heard of it. Ronald, that's basically it. He asks, how did I learn all this other than just hanging around a garage? Very hands-on, figuring, just dive in, figure it out. And that's what I did on tuning is just dive in, figure it out. Trial and errors, a lot of it over the years. And that's why one of my big things is like, whenever you're learning, only make one change at a time, verify it, don't make big changes, stuff like that. Because you'll find out pretty quick if something's not right. Considering how easy the Dodges are still, that's exactly what I was thinking, Joe. It's funny that Dodges have the most robust OBD2 security out of all the cars right now, and yet they're the easiest to steal. Exactly, belt slip, man. I keep a thing of the graphite around, and I just spray it on the pulley and be like, belt slipping. Recent news regarding the class action of GM regarding the 6L80. I've not seen anything on that. I'll have to look that up. Class action against GM on 6L80s. Tyler, send off the T93 to get unlocked. Check back with me. Let me know if something's weird. Different. Severely different. I'll have to dig around. I've probably got some files around here somewhere. Where are we at? That may be Michael. He said he had to swap a PID or two for his 012 or 2012 CTSV. Yeah, honestly, Zipperator, if you want to just email me one of your data logs, I'll open it up and look at it with the layout setup and update the layout setup. So send a log over to info@goatropegarage.com and let me know who you are and why you're sending it, and I'll update it and send you the update, and then just update the actual package in case anybody else buys it. Supercharger or nitrous? How about both? Exactly, small changes. Ben, you're funny. Ethan says, for a lot of tuning aspects, there are signs of entering a danger zone, like detonation. Are there warning signs for simply pushing too much power before blowing the engine entirely? Obviously, detonations are main focus, but we got to be aware of everything else that's going on. Fuel pressure is a very critical one, and I would say that fuel pressure probably kills more motors than about anything. Fuel pressure, bad injectors, stuff like that. Fuel delivery, because it only takes a split second of running lean and there's no recovering from it, and so that's one of those things. If you're going to spend money to do this stuff, don't skimp out on the fuel system. It's why I've never really been a fan of decapped injectors. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is they're just so hard to control down at idle. But yeah, I mean, your big thing is detonation, and then having a feel for the vehicle. If you're getting on it while you're tuning and you start to feel something off, don't stay on it, get off of it and figure out what's going wrong. Good injectors with proper data is worth their weight in gold. That is the truth. It makes your life so much easier. Can you run water meth through something like a Pro Charger before the intake? Yes. Theoretically, you can. Now, don't be surprised if after so many miles you're going to see some pitting on the impeller or the compressor blades. Just be aware that you are taking a semi-solid object and throwing it into something that is spinning very, very, very fast. And it's just going to happen. But if you were doing a race setup where you're not putting a lot of miles on and stuff like that, might be worth it. Silver Server 77's tuning videos. Never heard of them. Are they any good? Should I go watch them? Well, he's got a 6L80 transmission tuning guide. That's interesting. He's only got 2 subscribers. Is this you? This must not be the right guy. What's happening here? Oh, there we go. I'll check them out. I'll check them out. I will report back. VV stuff, couple. Oh, gotcha. He's got a lot. I'm going to have to watch this dynamic air video he put out. Is this the one that's based on my math? This guy just rehashing the video that I made 4 years ago. No, I'll check him out. Yeah, if one stick's open wide open, you're going to hydrolock the motor. If you don't hydrolock it, you're going to blow the rings out. All kinds of bad stuff goes wrong whenever an injector sticks wide open. It's just as bad as an injector sticking closed. To add on the meth injection cushion, make sure you have a good nozzle that atomizes as well. Yeah. Oh, listen, man. If this guy takes my math and he finds a better way of doing it than I did, hey, man, I'm all about it. I support that. And this guy apparently likes transmissions, which I don't. So I will watch his transmission videos. And if they are worth a darn, I will be sharing them. Because I hate tuning transmissions. I tuned my transmission by swapping in Turbo 400s. Yeah. Tell me about it, Cole. My buddy called me. He's like, you thinking maybe you might be having some injector issues on the Nova? I was like, dude, don't talk that way. Do I build an aluminum block 462 valve or put a 6R80 in place of the 45? Dude, I don't know. You're talking jibber jabber. Adrian. Speaking all that jibber jabber, 4.62 valve or 6R80. Sounds like Dodge terminology. Honestly, man, are you getting by on the 4Rs? 4R75 is pretty good transmission, is it not? Like, they handle pretty good power, I believe. Had 2.8 injectors that were actually clean flow tested with great numbers, stick open during initial cranking. It's now got a hole where a rod gave up. Couldn't get lucky enough just to bend the rod. Have to break it and send it through the side of the block. Sweet. Yeah, exactly. It's getting hot in there. Snapped it clean in half. Then you just basically have a blunt knife that you're swinging around on the inside. Injector pressure variation in the log. What would be acceptable? Well, I'm going to have to do a log with looking at injector pressures. I don't know if any of the injector pressure variation is going to make a difference or if it's going to be actually calculated properly. Hey man, 6 revisions? You've been slacking, Mike. So, PSA was to bench check your injectors before putting them back on, even if they're recently clean and flow checked. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at on this whole thing. It's giving me anxiety talking about injectors also. But, you guys, it's 8:34. We're going to wrap it up. If you got a question or something, dump it in here. But that variation is not going to be representative it's going to be representative of the fuel system as a whole. There's no way to looking like at individual cylinders and stuff like that. It's a pain. So I broke one 4R75E. Direct drive shaft broke on a $700 salvage one. Okay. Well, if you broke it, man, upgrade that thing. Your engine already makes enough power to break transmissions. Why build it? If you build a more powerful engine, you're going to have to do the transmission anyways. It's like, what came first? The chicken or the egg, right? Oh, you're talking about diesel? Like, you gotta specify, man. You're in here with a bunch of gasoline people. I'm like, wait a second. 47-pound injectors shouldn't have an issue of cold start on the 85. Probably just needs to be dialed in. Oh, I had Permane Brothers on Tuesday, man. Hey, Michael, that's what it's here for. I'm just glad to be back on the live show. Man, I enjoy sitting down with you guys and talking about this stuff. Because you get my gears turning and my brain thinking. You know? You keep me fresh. So, summary. HP Tuners, no longer a sponsor of the channel. I took all the links out. If you didn't get your free t-shirt by now, I don't know. The code will probably still work. I don't even remember what the code is. We're still going to be tuning on HP Tuners, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm picking up my dream car this weekend. Also, there you go. GR Garage is the code. I don't know how long that code will work. But, yeah, I mentioned it at the start, Ethan. Go back and watch the video that you missed. Oh, the guy... No, this is my legit dream car. This is the car I've wanted since I was 12 years old. The guy that owns Bench Force, I need to reach out to him. I talked to him before all the crap went down this winter and this spring. He's down the road from me. Dude, I wish a TVR Speed 12. So I'm going to go to Bench Force and do a tour of their facilities and look at all their stuff. You know, they make harnesses and they make the interfaces and stuff. Oh yeah, they're going to be tuned. Dude, it wouldn't be a dream car unless I could tune it. Come on now, Tyler. Hey, I've owned a Miata. Don't hate on Miatas. They're fun cars. Yeah, Mike. Miles, you have any trash you want to talk to him about? He seems like a super cool guy. EFI Connection's got a lot of stuff going on that's good for what we do. So I need to hit him back up because I've been out of touch, and I'm excited to go check it out. And I'll shoot some video and stuff like that and talk to him about what all they've been doing. Talk more about the Bench Force, some of the harness. He's got an awesome new harness testing setup that he built. Ah, cool. Yeah, so he's a couple hours down the road. I'm going to set that up probably next month. Oh, that reminds me why I got you guys here. No, I'm not going. No, listen. Holly's not going to ever have anything to do with me, Ben. I'm probably got my picture on the wall at Holly that says, you know, do not accept checks from this guy, like at the gas station. So, I'm not going to make Power Tour. Obviously. Since I was going with HP Tuners. I'm not making Power Tour next month. So, if you're planning on coming out to see me at Power Tour, I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Not this year, at least. Maybe next year. Honestly, the way that it's going, I'm not going to be doing any week-long events this year because I had to use so much vacation and sick leave and stuff back earlier in the year and all that stuff. So, There might be some upcoming events that are like weekend events and stuff like that. I'll keep you guys posted though. That way, if you're in the area and want to come out, hang out, say hi, do all that stuff, or, join the event, whatever we're doing, give you guys the heads up on that. Might try to go even out regional and hit up some stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys posted. Next year we'll be a lot more active back on the racing scene because we got to get Smoke Monster back out and get it dialed in, get it running the way it should be running. So, listen, that's it for this week. I want to thank everybody, as always, for stopping by. Listen, I will have more energy next Thursday, I promise. I'm a little low on the energy right now. Because I'm just tired. I will get more sleep next week, I promise. Listen, you guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT. Always be tuning. Where's my mouse cursor? My mouse is not working. My mouse has officially died. I can't shut off the stream. There we go. See you guys later.